Another very brief video today. This time I'm discussing Akira Kurosawa's The Lower Depths, released in 1957. Our first time exploring the work of Akira Kurosawa, it might seem odd that I've chosen something seemingly as trivial or secondary as The Lower Depths, but the reason I wanted to promote this title is because I wanted to examine how Kurosawa chooses to direct an established script and one adapted a few times to the screen prior, and celebrate how he has conjured it into another classic entry of his immaculate filmography. To assist in this modest study, I will be examining the other previous available film adaptations of Maxim Gorky's 1902 play The Lower Depths, Minoru Murata's silent film, also Japanese, from 1921, Jean Renoir's French take from 1936, and Chetan Anand's 1946 Hindi adaptation. The two not available to me are a 1947 Chinese film and a 1952 Russian film. I'll work backwards in chronological order, and I'll begin with the 1957 Kurosawa adaptation of The Lower Depths, and I shall explore these other three films in three subsequent videos. I'll give you all some backstory on the play The Lower Depths. The Lower Depths, first performed in 1902, is today considered a hallmark of Russian social realism. The narrative portrays a group of impoverished Russians living in a shelter near the Volga River. The Lower Depths was criticized upon its release for its expression of pessimism and an ambiguous, if non-existent, ethical message. The overriding thematic conflict of the play is considered to be unforgiving truth versus the encouraging delusion. Literary critics adore its memorable characters and creative plotting, although social critics deplored its illustration of the working classes, as well as exploiting their plight for the sake of drama. So, of course, Kurosawa's film morphs the setting of the narrative from 19th century Russia to the Edo, or Tokugawa, period of Japanese history, considered to span from 1603 to 1867. The reason I announced at the onset that this video here would be brief is because I was unsure how effectively I could articulate this film's aesthetic and technical prowess, in comparison to just showing off the previous adaptations of this play. That would be as efficient a means as any at showing off this particular The Lower Depths adaptation cinematic composition. It would also beautifully illustrate why Kurosawa is such a phenomenal film director. I mean, I'm sure these screen caps in isolation do a fine enough job of this, of course. Note this film's choice of angles, the superb lighting, the dynamic blocking. This is directorial finesse 101. I remember I once commented how one could learn basic effective film narrative composition by viewing John Huston's The Maltese Falcon, whilst considering how you yourself might have tried to adapt it if handed the screenplay a cast and crew. I feel as though Kurosawa's The Lower Depths could also be considered a terrific example of this exercise. Now, a film such as this is pretty controlled by its performers, and all the technical facets of the production are geared toward illustrating their vibrant presentation. I believe my screenshots will do a good enough job of presenting this film's technical strengths. I have no use to write, nor would any of you to subsequently listen to, a ramble about why the script is strong or why the cast is great, so I shall not. Instead, consider this the first part of a four-part series which promotes 4 film adaptations of the same source play in backwards chronological order, so that we may examine how film direction changed over the course of 4 decades, from the 1950s, time traveling back through the 40s and 30s, and then finally into the early 1920s. I hope this little undertaking is as exciting as it sounds. Enjoy these screen caps, and have a great day, night, wherever you are.